Australia has succeeded in wielding some of the most powerful weapons any military could boast of, from the most advanced main battle tanks on the ground to submarines underwater and missiles in the air that fly faster than a human can blink. And here's only the first of them, the Australian Bushmaster, a lethal armored vehicle with a combo of an unbreakable defense and an unstoppable attack that's enough to protect up to 10 soldiers for 3 days straight. And complementing this four-wheel drive beast of a vehicle are several other weapons in the Australian arsenal that soon could win battles for the Australian military and its allies. The Australian government's gift of the Bushmaster is in response to a direct request from President Zelensky of Ukraine, who specifically requested the vehicle during his address to the Australian Parliament on the 31st of March 2022. Of the 20 slated to be sent, 3 have already been delivered to Ukraine, offloaded off a RAAF C-17A Globemaster. This was one less than expected of the first batch, as the Globemaster can carry up to 4 Bushmasters at a time, but understandably so, as it was on such short notice for the Bushmaster developer, Thales Australia, who in contract with RGM Maintenance had to prepare the vehicles, have them painted olive green to suit the operating environment, and have the Ukrainian flag painted on either side with the words "United with Ukraine" stenciled in both English and Ukrainian. An extra-mile effort that's sure to help with morale in the Ukrainian camp. 2 of the 20 gifted Bushmasters are of the ambulance variants, while the others are configured for troop-carrying operations. Combined, they all amount to about $35 million, placing Australia's total commitment of defense military assistance to Ukraine at over $115 million. In addition to this, Australia is delivering 70,000 tons of coal to power Ukraine's resistance, on top of over $45 million in humanitarian assistance for the people of Ukraine. As regards the remaining Bushmasters to be sent, the Australian government will not disclose further specific details of their delivery arrangements at the direct request of the Ukrainian government, but it's certain that they will be sent in the next few weeks, where together, they'll likely spell trouble in capital letters for the Russian military, with features and capabilities that could make the Ukrainian forces unstoppable. With a mass of just under 34,000 pounds when loaded, the Bushmaster has a huge array of defensive and attacking components to choose from. Its V-hull monocoque counters landmines by deflecting the blast away from the vehicle, while its high-hard steel armor provides ballistic, IED, and FSP protection to soldiers on board. And should any of these attacks even manage to pierce a hole in the Bushmaster's wheels, there's a central tire inflation system to keep the vehicle as mobile and agile as ever, despite the punctures. The hydraulic and 84-gallon capacity fuel tanks of the vehicle are located outside the crew compartment to prevent fires internally, and should that prove insufficient, the Bushmaster's automatic fire suppression system kicks into full gear to handle the flames, aided by an air conditioning system that could almost simulate the North Pole. The Bushmaster's primary armament is a remote weapon station or a manned open turret up to 12.7mm HMG or 40mm AGM launcher, both of which can deal lethal damage to any party that's on the wrong side of the Bushmaster. Its secondary armament comes in the form of 3 manned swing mounts, each capable of wielding a 7.62mm machine gun. To power all of this, the vehicle's engine is from the world's largest construction equipment manufacturer, Caterpillar. And like all of their other products, the Bushmaster's turbocharged 3126E 7.2-liter 6-cylinder diesel engine is as rugged as they come. It provides 224 kilowatts of power to power all systems on board, keep the Bushmaster running for its 497-mile operational range, and at a governed max speed of 62 miles per hour. All of these and more have combined to make the Bushmaster one of the most sought-after battle vehicles in the world. Currently in service with the militaries of Australia, Netherlands, Britain, Japan, Indonesia, Fiji, Jamaica, New Zealand, and now Ukraine, where it is preparing to save the lives of its operators like it did in the wars in Afghanistan, Iraq, Mali, and Syria. The Bushmaster is the first armored vehicle to be designed and completely manufactured in Australia in over 7 decades, since the end of World War II, and so far it has proved to be worth the wait. Since 1997, when production began, 1,195 Bushmasters have been built, with a unit cost between $500,000 and $2,450,000. This wide variation in the unit costs of Bushmasters is due to the vehicle having multiple variants, each with its unique perk that favors its operating service, be it the Army or the Air Force, and these power-ups affect the prices. The several Bushmaster variants that were designed according to the specifications of the Australian Army and Air Force are the Troop variant, the Command variant, Assault Pioneer, Air Defense, a Mortar variant to deal with more advanced mortar threats, the Direct Fire Weapons variant, and a General Maintenance variant. However, there are many more upgraded variants custom-suited to foreign buyers. Perhaps the most lethal of these upgraded variants is the MR6, which Thales Australia launched in 2018 for the yet-to-be-concluded British Army Multi-Role Vehicle Protected Program, a program to deliver future wheeled utility and logistics vehicles for the British Army. The MR6 has a new hull that features front crew doors, a wider rear door with increase in compartment height and an extension, a new Caterpillar C7 engine, new heavy-duty suspension, an anti-lock braking system, an extra 2-ton payload, the C4I system from Hawkeye, an improved remote station that… You know what? The MR6 is simply fitted with everything that would give the world an insight of just how powerful the Australian military is. And the MR6 won't be the only representative of that. There are some other powerful equipment and weapons in the arsenal of the Australian military that could terrify threats from miles away. The Abrams tank is a third-generation American main battle tank that has Australia as one of its users. The tank was conceived for modern armored ground warfare and is one of the heaviest tanks in service today, coming in at nearly 62 metric tons. Contributing to this massive weight is a multi-fuel turbine engine, sophisticated Chobham composite armor, a Rheinmetall 120mm tank gun, MBC protection to protect the crew from nuclear, biological, and chemical attacks, a computer fire control system, and a long line of other innovative features that justify why the Abrams currently serves as the main battle tank of the United States Army and the Australian Army, who bought 59 Abrams M1A1 tanks in 2006. In January 2020, after years of success with the tanks, Australia committed $3.5 billion to purchase 120 tanks and armored vehicles, 75 of which will be the more advanced Abrams M1A2 tanks to replace the M1A1s that were bought in 2007. Australia is developing a fleet of nuclear-powered submarines as part of a new trilateral advanced defense system with the United States and the United Kingdom. These submarines are expected to be a nuclear-powered evolution of the already existing Collins-class fleet in the Royal Australian Navy, with the possibility of brand new submarines to be included. These nuclear-powered submarines would feature homegrown nuclear reactors for limitless power and a vertical launch system for additional missiles. The first of them, HMAS Vengeful, is expected to be launched before 2050, while its remaining V-named siblings would follow suit in the 2050s. This submarine development effort is only one part of a new partnership between the three countries dubbed AUKUS, AUKUS, which is short for Australia, UK, US. This partnership also includes cooperation in other areas, such as cyber warfare, quantum computing, and long-range strike capabilities, particularly with missiles. Teaming with the US and prioritizing homegrown capability again, Australia is moving to produce its own guided missiles under a billion-dollar plan to establish a new weapons facility with a global arms manufacturer as a strategic industry partner, potentially Lockheed Martin. The Australian Defence also recently announced that it was, in partnership with the US, working to develop an air-launched hypersonic cruise missile that could reach Mach 8 speeds, a missile that would support the growing needs of both nations, while improving the Australian economy significantly too. Defense Industry Minister Melissa Price expects the new national enterprise to provide well over 2,000 jobs in different locations across the nation and be worth tens of billions of dollars over the next 20 years. And this is only a fraction of the government's planned $270 billion to spend on defense projects over the next 10 years. So it's safe to say Australia is about to get busy in the coming years, and not just with missiles, submarines, tanks, or beautiful tennis. but also with the Bushmaster, a protected mobility vehicle that stands as one of the few gifts that could make the president of a nation excited. A vehicle that has extended its capabilities to nations in need, with the promise of making a difference on the battlefield, while only asking for one thing in return: that you subscribe to this channel and give this video a thumbs up. That would be all for now. See you in the next video.